Holy cow, we're back. 2 weeks in a row with another episode of Hoggin the Mic. I'm your host, Eddie Jenkins, with your other host, Kenneth J. Paltrow III. How you doing, buddy?
On take two, you got that one right. I'm doing great
This
because
was
it
this
is.
was take one. I don't know what you're talking
No one has to know. This is
about.
Victory Week.
It is victory week, and my team's got victories, both of them. Tennessee Volunteers, 56-0 against Tennessee Tech. And we all know how that game went on Thursday night. It was a thing of beauty, but we'll talk about the pains here in a moment. I'll take it. I'll take an ugly W. And your other host, Maximus Bacon the First. How you doing, pal?
Doing great. Yeah, my two teams won. I noticed you didn't mention your fantasy team because they weren't in the winning column this week, but
Max,
it
I
is
don't
what it
live
is.
in a fantasy world. I live in the really real world. So we talk about really real things here, and let's get
Fair
real.
enough.
Let's get real. I went to the tailgate on Thursday, and I was very uncomfortable the whole time, especially in the game. Less at the tailgate. I'll probably be back. I don't know. We'll see. Things are getting kind of choppy again out in the world. I'll be back for the Cowboys game. I've already bought tickets. But other than that, we'll see. I'll think about it. Pez's wings, delicious as always. Thank you, Pez. Thank you, Hooli. Thank you, Jackie, for putting up with me and selling me a ticket. I really appreciate it, and for the ride all the way from Columbia. But it was good. It was good to see Kenny again. As soon as I saw him, Max, he was on Pez's table. Well, not on, in front of Pez's table, and I grabbed a handful of his ass so hard he almost flipped it over.
I went flying basically into the wing batter. That was
A
a
Kenny
great,
wing.
by the way. That tailgate was something else. I mean, they're usually really good. I remember most of it, but it was a fantastic time.
I remember
By
some
the
of
end
the
of the
game,
season,
some of the tailgate parts.
by the end of the season, I want to see you putting Kenny through that table.
It might happen. He did give me two old school foam WWE belts because he gets rid of all of his old school trash and just gives it to me.
Washington Team Mafia power bombing ourselves through tables. Also, the tailgate was great, and I had to remember it rained really hard during the tailgate, and I was having such a good time. I had to remember that.
And I did start on national TV. We thought it was being filmed. I think this was for WJLA ABC7 or something, whatever's in DC. We thought it was being filmed, but no, it was live. Immediately, as soon as she started going, I got a Heine chant going on. And honestly, I think that's what pulled us through.
Yeah, that definitely got a text from my dad as soon as I was going. As soon as we were done.
I was looking for it online. I couldn't find it.
Oh, it's posted on my Facebook page, by the way.
Oh, the video?
Yeah, I should have posted it. I'll post it on the Hoggin the Mic page. But my parents have a good 30-second video of us cheering and Giants fans doing shots on live television.
They needed every last one of them, but I did throw up the screenshot on the Instagram. Hogging the Mic Instagram.
I look like I'm having a party. I wasn't though. I was only drinking waters, which was good. I was drunk on Redskins and hot wings, which is really what I'm proud of. And I was also drunk on winning back-to-back games in cornhole. Kenny and I dominated.
Yeah, we did. That never happens too.
Yeah, we corned the hole, man.
Yeah, I'll take those. Those are the best W's of the day.
It was great. It was great. But then the game started, which was weird. I did go in the Hall of Fame store for the first time in forever. Weird, I'll say, just kind of weird. They got rid of everything from the previous merchandise. So there's it's kind of barren because there's usually a pile of just clearance crap in there that's been there for maybe 5 seasons. I mean, there were still mountains of Robert Griffin III stuff there, okay? The last time I was there.
Really?
Yeah, trading cards, pennants.
Wait, this time or last time?
Previously. Now it's all gone. There's no sale stuff. And so it's kind of empty in some ways. I didn't see any game pins. I don't think they do game pins anymore, from what I could tell. I got a program. I usually get a program, so that was cool. But it was just weird. And it does say on my bank statement, Redskins FedEx Field
Does it really?
from getting charged there. So that was funny. But like just seeing that and seeing like the Ring of Fame and like all the logos taken down and stuff. I mean, I get it, but like I don't know. When's it a little too far? Maybe that is. I don't know.
Weirdness.
Neither here
Weirdness.
nor there. But made our way to the game, and what a game it was. I've still got some questions. Heine, let's talk about Heine. I think that's the number one thing to talk about right now because we had more questions about him than answers. Probably last podcast. Had a great game against Tampa Bay. Had a decent showing when he started for the Panthers against the Falcons a few years ago. Of course, that was later in the season. Didn't really matter. But he looked good. And in his first 3 starts, he's completed more passes than any quarterback in NFL history in their first 3 starts.
Do you want to say it or do you want me to, Kenny?
I have a lot of things to say. Why don't you go ahead so I'm not repeating.
Say it. What's the it?
That's right.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. I'm not going to go that far just yet, but I like what I see by the guy. I'd like this guy to keep starting until he has proven to be bad, which I right now feel like that is not going to be like other quarterbacks who you're going, we're sitting here defending them like, well, they didn't see the blind side because X, Y, and Z. Well, they fumbled the ball because they ate a lot of chicken wings in the tailgate with Pez, Hooley, Eddie, and myself. Well, the reason that they he threw 18 incomplete passes is because he had a strip club on his mind after the game. This guy looks like he knows what he's doing and is like, okay, so one of the 3 things, I'll let y'all talk about him. So the pass to Seals Jones was one of the prettiest passes I think I've seen a Washington football team quarterback.
Big boy pass right there. That is a pro NFL quarterback pass. Not everybody can make that throw. It was beautiful.
And a borderline roster cut making the catch as well. That's pretty insane.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to take anything away from Seals Jones. I thought that was a fantastic catch. I mean, he was twisting his body. It was kind of almost like the McLaurin catch in week 1, except he wasn't falling to his death at the time when he caught the ball. But he was twisting his body, and it was just fingertip, like a bullet right in there.
But at the same time, he's putting the ball, giving his receiver a chance, and not putting the ball in a dangerous situation. And most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
That throw, if you watch him in the pocket, like it's almost a back leg throw, which you're always like, you hold your breath, like, why would you throw that with no weight in the front? This dude trusts his arm and trusts his ability to know where he's throwing the ball. That ball was perfectly placed in the corner of the end zone. Seals made a great catch. That was the first thing I saw.
Swagger.
The second thing, what's that?
He's got swagger. That's why he does these things. He believes in himself.
Right. Okay, so the second thing I noticed, so Heineken, what he should be drinking, Heineke.
We'll come back to that.
With the game on the line, kind of like Gibson last week, where he fumbled, or 2 weeks ago, fumbles the ball in a key spot. Heineke sees a receiver. He's still learning the game a little bit. Tries to just do a dump off, which was in my opinion, a terrible play call. We should probably just be running the ball there safely or doing like the safest passes, like screen plays, not throwing just like over the middle. Doesn't see the linebacker or defensive back, whoever it was, it's picked off. Needs to be able to see that. But my point about that is point 3. Most of the quarterbacks I've watched will do number 2, even if they've done number 1, which is rare. Number 1's rare. Number 2, we do see all the time. Number 2, we see 6 times a game, where it's the interception. And so I'm watching that going like, cool. Heineke played it like the Kirk Cousins factor. For Kirk Cousins was number 2. Kirk Cousins would do 5 number 1s and then 12 number 2s and then 0 number 3s, which I'm about to get into. Number 3 was rebounding after that pick, realizing you have a game-winning drive to make up for it, and then methodically doing 7-yard passes 10 times until we put Hopkins in position to win. Asterisk, I will talk about him later. but like
Cut him.
he gave us the chance to win the game on his own arm and driving the team.
And let's say
Yeah,
something.
I was actually pretty impressed with his clock management skills for a guy that only got a week's worth of reps with the first team. Like,
and let's talk about the
that's
interception.
impressive.
Let's talk about that interception, though. There was a percentage. I was listening, I think it was Grant and Danny earlier this week. They're on 106.7 The Fan. Apparently, Heine has the most throws, like, could be explosive plays, right? With the least amount of, like, turnover in the league thus far in the first two games.
Including that one, which was
Yeah.
an easy pass, but the receiver, the whole thing was the receiver got held up. I don't know if you guys were able to see that in person, but yeah, he kind of had to go around a guy, and it like delayed the pass 1 second too much, and yeah, he kind of
felt like a timing route where, like, he just trusted he'd be there, and it just happened.
It was supposed to be.
Yeah, and but he like Kenny said, he bounced back. He shook it off. He wasn't like Kirk, who he would screw the pooch once, and then here comes another. Just like a dagger interception just to end the game, which is the Kirk Cousins way.
Well, Hopkins tried to do the dagger this time.
Oh, yeah. You like that?
No, I tell you what, like, we're all fed up with Hopkins. I don't care that he made the game winner. He missed the first one, and he never should have got a chance to kick the second one. So, honestly, it's inexcusable.
You got a game ball for
that. Coach Ron gave him a game ball, and they gave Heine a game ball.
Well, Heine got $125,000 because that kick. So yeah, every win he gets this season, where he plays more than 60% of the snaps, he gets $125,000. So,
see, I mean, if
rich.
He turns out to be a good quarterback, they've got him for a reasonable price, right? They've got him for a reasonable price. That means they can make other roster moves. Make sure they can sign that D line. Oh, Kenny just going in circles back there.
I have a prop that I want to show you.
That means they can sign him for a reasonable price and make sure they can keep that D line and that defense if they're good. Intact. So hopefully that happens. Hopefully he keeps balling out. Also, he keeps pushing Heineken beer. I don't know if you saw the press conference. Did you hear about that?
I think I sent you guys a tweet about that.
Yeah. Like, I watched the press conference too. He mentioned it, and then he's like, I don't know, man. Like, if they don't say something soon, maybe I'll just start giving hollers to Bud Light.
Bud Light. Choose another worse beer. I'm going to reenact my thoughts and feelings on Dustin Hopkins visually, and then you can explain what's going on the screen for those that are just listening to our podcast.
Are you gonna hang yourself in the closet again? Are you Timmy White? Kenny has a pair of safety scissors, and they're going across the screen. I wish they were.
What is this? He's terrible.
He's a bum.
I mean, I'd take about anybody.
Here's my thing. Let me go on a 38-second rant, timed. The problem with Hopkins is I think he's statistically he's like one of our most accurate field goal kickers, which makes you like bleed out of your ears and eyes when you hear that. He's in like our top 5 or something. But my problem with Hopkins is because he'll kick like 3 field goals a game, and that's fine. Great. 3 of them are for 26 yards. I think I can make one of those myself. The problem is it's always a fourth quarter field goal that's 45 yards or more, where it's like, cool, either seal the game or take the lead, and then he shanks it, and the other team takes the ball and wins. And it's like, all you have to do is make that one field goal, and it's 45 yards. I watch teams all the time kick 61-yard field goals twice in the matter of a 2-minute warning and overtime to win the game. I watch Hopkins go for a 42-yarder and whiff.
Who's been saying this for years?
Right.
He's cost the team more games than he's won for them. It's a fact.
Right.
Isn't he the kicker that cost the team the Bengals game in London?
Yep.
Yes.
Didn't he ruin your London trip, Kenny? Didn't he ruin it? Can you ruin it for you?
Ruined. But the game, I went all the way to London to go see a tie because Dustin Hopkins can't make. And that one I feel like was like, I know they missed even a shorter one, which is sad, but like that, I think it was like 40 or something.
I hate losing to the Bengals too. Like, to me,
Oh,
like the Bengals are the epitome of a pathetic franchise. I mean, a lot of people probably think that of our franchise, but to me, it'll always be the Bengals.
We have the
Always be
Super
the
Bowls to back it up, though.
they got roasted by Montana twice.
I was gonna say they have two Joe Montana comeback losses.
Still the greatest quarterback of all time, in my opinion.
So it's a unanimous cut Hopkins, a unanimous Heineke is a freaking machine.
So far, so
any-
I
good.
wouldn't go that far, but I trust the guy enough to win us games.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you grade Heine's game?
I would give Heineken. I'm going to keep saying that because he had this press conference. I'm going to give Heineke a B plus, and
I think that's fair.
that
I
might
concur.
I think it might be a biased B plus because of how awful our quarterback play is generally. But to watch a guy just be competent more or less for an entire game makes me give him a B plus. If I put him on like the Chiefs and he did this, I'd probably be like C minus. You were like, okay. But on the Washington football team, if you don't turn the ball over 4 times or blow it in the end, B plus.
Yeah, I
he's
concur.
definitely
B plus for sure.
Definitely in the B range. I would say B-ish. Yeah, for sure. Because my thought on it is he kind of started out a little slow. I got a couple texts from concerned people that had bet on Washington saying, "Hey, what's up with Heineke today? You told me he's awesome." And but then he got going. He got in a groove. Pick at the end was almost a dagger, but again he bounced back, so that gives him some extra credit. Fair, B is fair.
Yeah, for sure, fair. I was really excited to see him. You go back and watch some clips of this game, you can see it. He's making some great throws. He's making some great decisions. But now teams got 3 games of tape on him, a little bit more. They can see tendencies start to pick up there, and we'll see how he goes moving forward. Big game this week. Big game.
You want to you always want to remind everybody of stuff you called. Who mentioned last week that we need to start getting the ball in McKissick's hands? That would be me.
I think you can McKissick my ass, Max.
No, he made some big plays.
That one route he ran was perfect, where he was just like, oh, I got the sideline. I'm just going to keep going. And Heine, who can see these things, was like, oh, cool, wide open receiver. And that was a 45-something yard gain on play 1, leading to the Seals Jones on play 2. It was like we were the Chiefs for one drive, where it was like 2 plays, 80 yards, not a problem.
Yeah, and that pass was beautiful. Like Haskins would have sailed it and hit a fan in the first row.
He hit a Instagram model in the first row. How did you feel about our O-line this week? I thought it was a little better. I think when you have Heine there to move the ball around and to be mobile and move in the pocket, you have a little bit more ability to kind of keep him like clean. We did have Gibson had 13 carries for 69 yards, averaging 5.3 a carry. McKissick 4 carries, just 10 yards, 2.5, and a touchdown. Heine moving around the pocket, not ripping off any big plays or anything, was 4 for 6 yards, averaging 1.5 yards. And Carter with 1 carry for 2 yards. But I thought the line was a little bit better. I think having a mobile quarterback that knows when to run and when to slide helps out a lot.
I mean, we put up 30 points. Like with the defense we're supposed to have, any game we put up 30 points, we should win unless we're maybe playing the Chiefs.
For sure. I mean, he did throw the ball 46 times too, which is pretty crazy for like a guy from ODU that was taking math classes last year.
Right. So my thing is, the line I thought was B minus, C plus. Like they gave him enough time. It's nothing where I'm like, I watch some games and I can't fathom this because I've never seen this with us, where the quarterback will just sit in the pocket for like 7 seconds and there won't be a guy within 5 yards. We have not had that maybe since our Super Bowl team.
The last one, you mean? Or all of them, really?
Right. Well, that's what I mean.
The
like
Hogs.
Just years ago. The reason I don't give them a worse grade is because our quarterback's hips are in place. Because in week 1 they weren't, because our line guys just eat Fitzpatrick. Week 2, Heine was not murdered, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, they
goodness.
ate Fitzpatrick raw that first game.
And he does that thing like I was talking about. He does that like little shoulder shrug and roll back like Romo, which is like used to piss me off to no end. But you gotta love it when it's on your team. Gotta love it when it's on your team.
Right.
How about our receivers? How about our receiving crew? Like
Terry
McLaurin,
McLaurin,
another 100-yard game, averaged
best
9.7 with a touchdown.
best player on the team. And I mean, honestly, without McLaurin, do we win that game? Probably not. He literally had a NBA Jam drive where it was like, oh, he caught one. Oh, he's heating up, and then oh, he's on fire with the touchdown. It was like, man, this guy, he like, the ball's going to him, and they still can't do anything about it.
And McKissick too, like 5 for 83, averaging 16.6 catch.
I got half of that on that one catch, but yeah, he was part of our offense.
Yeah, I mean it skews the medium there, but
he got us some first downs.
He did.
He definitely got us some first downs.
Yeah, no, I think there shouldn't be a week where we are disappointed in our receiving core. I'd like there to be weeks where we're like, damn, our top 3 receivers all had like 80 plus yards, which we also haven't had in 30 years.
They need Asante Samuels back. Just going back and watching some old clips of Heine there at Carolina. He likes Samuel. Like he likes Samuel a lot. Yeah. Like sorry. I was like playing too much Madden. It's been a long week, fellas. Long week. But yeah, he likes him a lot. He likes him a lot. Like he's throwing the ball to him a lot and hitting him in space, giving him time to run, like nice little dig routes and curls. Like I encourage you guys, if you get bored and are on YouTube, check out some of the old clips him throwing to him. It'll get you excited that whenever he comes off IR, whenever that is, maybe his groin will repair itself miraculously.
I'm already excited for Samuel. I think when he's healthy, he comes back. He's fast. He's dynamic. He just adds an extra dimension to the offense. And with Heineke having the mobility he has, I mean,
him and McLaurin at the same time. Come on.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nasty. So,
two burners.
Speaking of
Logan Thomas, how do you guys feel about him after 2 games?
He's there.
I agree. Like last year, I feel like he had like a third of the season he was there. 2 games in, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but at the same time, it's 2 games. That's why I'm not trying to like judge too much on any of this at the moment, because we've played one, in my opinion, really good team. The Giants are probably bottom 5 teams in the NFL, which is also why like we're saying some of these positives. And once again, it's week 2. Can't really put a stamp on anything.
We have a tough game coming up, so it was important to get that one.
And I got one more receivers question. Why is Brown getting more snaps than Sims? Sims had some big catches there toward the end of last year. Really showed out.
Pretty sure Rivera said today that the offensive coaches had been talking and they had realized that they had not had Sims on the field enough, and it was something that they were actively planning on getting him involved in the lineup more. Not sure why Brown is out there more, but yeah, it's something that seems like
I feel like either him or Humphreys is taking his spot. That's what I feel like. And Humphreys played okay. He played okay.
He made those clutch veteran catches at the end of the game, kind of like we said he was going to do.
Yeah, good possession receiver there. 7 for 44, 6.3 a catch, which is not too shabby for a guy that size. But yeah, I thought the receivers are good without McLaurin. I'm not sure where we're at right now, so hopefully we can get our boy off IR and really spread out that offense. Let's flip it though. Something I'm a little worried about. I think they got more pressure on the quarterback this week or last week than the week prior. Fuller had a sack. Sweat had a sack. I think Jared Allen had 2 sacks, which was nice. But man, Jones ran on him.
Jones did, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
Once again, it's 2 weeks, so I'm not trying to put a stamp on anything, but I'm I'm not concerned yet, but I am side-eyeing the defense. I'm terrified of what's going to happen next week when we get to our predictions. I need Eddie to cover his ears. I just there's not a lot of pass rush. This was the New York Giants. Once again, the New York Giants, in my opinion, is a big pile of New York garbage. And their defense was not great. So I was happy about that. Our offense looked pretty good. Their offense kind of tore us apart the whole game.
Daniel Jones had 9 rushes, 95 yards, averaged 10.6 and a touchdown.
And they lost arguably their best offensive lineman to an injury early in the game too. So I was like, okay, that's going to open up the middle of the line. They're going to have to shift people in. The defensive ends are going to be eating Daniel Jones raw, and it never really came into fruition.
Yeah, they tried to saute him for a long time, and that's not going to work. We need raw meat on a stick, and I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not seeing that contain that they had last year. I think that had been a big problem with teams past. They would get in there, they would rush, they'd almost have and break contain. He'd break one off, and that's exactly what's happening now. But it didn't happen last year. I don't know if that was a product of some poor offenses from the end of last year where they made the run, or if something's not clicking for Del Rio in that defense.
Also, once again, my biggest concern. I have a concern. I have an actual concern, and that's Ghost Squad. And Ghost Squad exists between 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and 20 yards past the line of scrimmage because nobody plays defense there. It's just a sea of grass with a bunch of Washington football team players floating by like specters trying to get to heaven and hell and trying to find their way through purgatory. And nothing's happening. They're just floating and going, ooh. And then Daniel Jones runs by all of them, and they all are like, whoa, that was a great play. And they high-five each other, and Daniel Jones in the end zone.
Are they like boos from Mario? You look at them, they're just, ooh.
Yeah, they are. That's exactly what they do. My thing is, Daniel Jones, and we all know this, this is a Washington football team thing. Daniel Jones is 0, and this is an actual stat. He is 0 and 368 against the entire NFL, and 45 and almost 0 against us now. Because every time we play Daniel Jones, he beats us.
But you know what? What has he done for me lately? He lost.
Because our kicker can't kick, or can kick because they go off sides, even though they might not have been. It was a whole disaster. I'm terrified of watching Daniel Jones. Josh Allen is this if you put 12 Daniel Jones into one Krang bodysuit and then unleashed it upon our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Josh Allen is going to run for 456 yards next week.
It's an android suit that Shredder built for him, but I like the analogy. I appreciate it. That's pretty good, Kenny. You're talking my language.
Hey,
you're welcome.
I liked it too. So we're starting Daniel Jones' losing streak against Washington, and that's one thing.
Thank God.
And I've officially canceled my missing persons report on Jamin Davis. We saw him out there a few times. Still not probably first round production, but it is what it is.
I have a burgundy alert out for all of our linebackers.
Yeah, their coverage lacks something to be desired.
We should brand Hoggin the Mike Milk and just put their faces on the back of milk cartons around the DMV.
Kenny, you do that. I want you to milk the cows personally, though.
Trust me, I have a good 4 days. We're recording on a Tuesday, so I got a lot of time to find some cows. These milk cartons and then distribute them around the DMV.
Some of those Dunloring cows just roaming around.
I'll milk cats and dogs if I have to.
Good God.
I've got nipples. Can you milk me, fucker? Jesus. All right. So, what do you give the defensive line? How did you feel about their overall just presence in the game? I mean, they did have 4 sacks, not too shabby as far as that goes, but overall constant pressure and hurries and stuff like that. I just didn't feel like there was a sense of urgency, and I feel like Daniel Jones broke contain far too often. I'm going to say a C.
D.
Say a C. Like maybe a C minus, really. Actually, 95 yard. Yeah, C minus.
I'm D plus. We're playing the Giants. Like that gets a C plus against the Bills.
It breaks my heart. That was
I'll
just
give him
a
an A plus
lot.
if that's against the Bills. 456 yards. Josh Allen, first quarter.
All
Oh,
right.
good God.
Let's shut up. Let's let's talk about the linebackers now. Let's the linebackers. Let's make it quick. Exactly. What do you give the linebackers? We've already talked. They weren't there. Wide open middle of the field yet again.
N/A.
Not applicable. They don't exist.
I can't judge what I don't see.
Yeah, I didn't think they were very good. I would say that's a big
What would
old
you give my girlfriend?
D minus. Kenny, I can't wait to the day you have a girlfriend.
You did an N/A.
Kenny. So yeah, our linebackers were nowhere to be seen. Kenny's gonna go milk some cats, some dogs, what have you, and we're gonna plaster them on the back of that. See, you can tell he's a bachelor because he's drinking this alone. Is that Lactaid? Is that actual milk?
Washington football's Lactaid milk. It's lesser than. Also,
you
Harris
are an old ass man.
Yeah, I have stomach problems, but that's neither here nor there. Tune into Helping the Ken Wednesdays at 7. Look, I'm drinking our linebacker juice because
he's got a broken hip and he's drinking Lactaid.
2 broken hips.
My God.
Next week, I want to see each linebacker pasted on that each side of your milk carton.
You better.
I might do that.
If the game goes poorly, you better, or if they just don't show up. But so we rated them poorly. How about our secondary? Like, how are you feeling about Landon Collins? How you feeling about Fuller? Jeez, now his finger's broken. How you feeling about the whole crew?
Collins. Kenny, I want to ask you. I want to ask Kenny a question. All right, between Landon Collins and D'Angelo Hall,
we talked about
who do you like more?
Oh, I'm thirsty again.
St. Juice was better, I would say, and Jackson in the third.
Yeah, he got toasted once and had a bad penalty, but other than that, like my thing with the secondary is it's like if we don't notice you, that's usually a good thing.
Yep.
Unless you're picking the ball off.
I wouldn't give them a great grade because I mean Daniel Jones 22 for 32, 249 yards, touchdown, no pickles. I'm gonna see.
Is it the talent or the scheme?
I don't know. We'll see. Like, I mean, I feel like it's this. I feel like it was the same scheme as last year. I feel like it was a lot of the same talent. They supposedly had upgraded a few parts in the secondary and in the linebacker situation there with their first round draft pick. I'm not seeing it yet. Hopefully, they learn how to put it together and we get a Super Bowl 26 like routing here this week. I hope so.
I think
that would be nice.
There was a tweet that John Keim put out during the game. Maybe it was after the game. I thought it was perfect. It said the secondary is not helping the pass rush, and the pass rush is not helping the secondary.
Yep.
He was like, until they kind of get in sync, because he said there was 2 things that he noticed. Either our pass rush was really good, but then there were guys wide open all over the field. So, Daniel Jones, 3-step drop back, 4 guys are open, 7-yard gain. Or we didn't have a pass rush, we had good coverage, and then Daniel Jones would sit back there for 15 seconds.
Just breaks down.
Strike because someone would eventually get open.
Yep.
Both of those need to start happening.
They've got to get in sync. Yep. Like, and that D line is, they're well paid. Of course, some of them are trying to get even more well paid, and highly vaunted. They need to start earning their money, because I've not seen it yet. So I'm putting this more on them than I am the secondary at this point.
Yeah, well, Matt Ioannidis keeps getting hurt. Tim settles off getting engaged today.
Congratulations, Tim.
Yeah,
get a prenup.
I'm sure he's listening.
Avid listener of the podcast.
He is. I texted him earlier. I told him get a prenup. Send him a good lawyer friend. I think it's a friend of Kenny's.
You can't say that on the show.
I thought it was. I thought it was a friend of yours, Barry Glazer.
I don't even know who you're talking about anymore.
Oh, I thought you knew Barry Glazer. Never mind.
Jay's cousin. So
not great. C minus.
And I feel like every week special teams is going to be a C because you're going to have an A for Tress Way and an F for Dustin Hopkins.
Like if we take Hopkins out of it, I think they were fine. You know, I give them an A minus, fine. Hopkins drags it all down. He's the player I hate most on the team.
You know what was pretty amazing though about Tress Way?
Ask the question again when we start.
So what is the greatest thing about Tress Way? I mean, I'm sorry we interrupted you.
Oh, sorry. He had a bad punt that turned into a really good punt. Like it was kind of off the side of his foot or something, and it rolled like 30 yards.
Tress Way could have went for that first field goal attempt and tried to miss it, and it would have went through the uprights.
He's like Marvel. Even when they make a bad movie, like they somehow make it decent eventually. You know,
I wouldn't know.
Iron Man 3, Shang-Chi, or Hail to the King. Anyway, for Mandarin fans. That's like going, I've never seen Star Wars. Give me attention.
I have seen Star Wars.
Give me attention. That's like the new I've never seen Star Wars. Yeah, Kenny.
No, it's not. I've never seen Avatar. Talk about that.
That's fine. Like it's not like it's not like it's
Godfather.
Kenny, you lived through like a 2-year-long pandemic. You had no excuse to not watch Marvel.
Watch a lot of BoJack Horseman.
I don't want to be a part of, pop culture. It makes me feel too generic.
Okay. Calm down.
Anyway, we'll get off that since Kenny, we don't want to give him too much more attention than he's already gotten. We saw you on TV, Kenny. We know you're a big deal. You drink Lactaid. You have 2 broken hips. Can't play racquetball anymore.
I can't play racquetball. Actually,
never mind. I don't need to get into this. Anyway, so let's talk about the game
Hopkins of racquetball.
Let's talk about the game coming up. We've got the Bills. First game didn't look very good. They didn't look very good. This week, they looked like the Bills from last year, which does worry me.
A team with a dead quarterback for most of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. And the Steelers are no slouch, to be fair.
But Roethlisberger, I think it's about that time they take him out behind the barn.
Well, their defense is nasty, but yeah. Roethlisberger, he just needs to pass the torch to good old Josh Dobbs. But
don't pass it to the idiot.
Back to Buffalo. Josh Allen, he's probably, besides Mahomes, the best young quarterback in the entire NFL. And we're going to have our hands full with him. What are you shrugging?
457 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Nope. Don't think so. I think they're definitely going to have to contain him. They're definitely going to have to figure out the middle of the field issue like we've talked about.
Are they going to eat him raw?
I think they're going to have to if they want to win. They're going to have to treat him like they treated Tom Brady last year in the playoffs. They're going to have to do something. I just feel like they do look like a team that rested a lot of their starters in the preseason. They just haven't quite found that they're not quite in lockstep together yet. You know what I mean? Like a part will start functioning and the other part, like the hubcap falls off and whatever, it's not good right now. I'm really worried about the defense when I thought that was the lock.
Yeah, I mean, let's just get to some projections. Let's get some scores going. Eddie,
we gotta do the Matt Bacon sizzling keys to the game.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Don't stomp all over his thunder here, man. I know this podcast is all about you. You've never seen a Marvel movie. You need attention, but let Max have his sizzling keys to the game.
Give me a sizzle. All right. So I've already alluded to the fact that we're going to have to eat Josh Allen raw. First thing we should do is definitely get some pressure on him. And we can't let him do Daniel Jones and run for 96 yards of play. Next, I would say that our secondary is going to have to do something about Stephon Diggs because he is Josh Allen's guy, and he's going to be trouble.
Who are you putting on him? Who are you putting on Diggs?
Probably Fuller. I mean, I would say just have him follow him around the whole game. That's probably our best bet. And other than that, we just have to let Heine do his thing and have Gibson, open up the pass game for us with some strong runs. Like we need the line to block and open up some holes this time.
For sure. So with that sizzle, those sizzling keys of the game done, what's your prediction, Max?
I don't know how much the sizzling they're going to do this week. We're a 9-point underdog. Pretty rough.
So 6 point because they're away.
Yeah, I mean, so technically we'd be a 3-point home underdog, which is not terrible, but not good in the NFL either. My prediction is that we are going to go up to Buffalo. We're going to do about 3 out of the 4 things I just mentioned, and we're going to lose 28-21.
What if you factor in the skin tangibles?
The skin tangibles. We'll go 28-24 then. Hopkins makes 1 kick.
And they win?
No.
I don't think you're giving enough credit to skin tangibles, Max. Come on.
This is a tough game. I think it's winnable. I don't think we will win.
I'm going to go because I know Kenny. He needs his attention. He's going to give a long soliloquy. He's going to wax poetic and then wax himself a little bit, because he likes to. He's a very driven, attention-seeking person. You know. I know my skin tangibles, guys. I've been looking at them, been really focusing on the game. I think you're gonna see Heine ball out. He's gonna have a career game this weekend. Career game. They're gonna win 31-17.
I would love it.
They're gonna look good. Defense is gonna come alive. 31-17. In the fourth quarter, with like 5-6 minutes left, we're going to be able to breathe freely and enjoy the rest of our Sunday. That's my prediction. I'm feeling good about it because all praise Heine. Give me a Heine hail.
Hail to Heine.
Okay, Kenny. I know you've got it balled up. Uncork that thing and give me a hell yeah. He puts his hat on. You know he means business.
The Washington football team had a miraculous comeback on primetime television just last Thursday, where they won in the final seconds of the National Football League Thursday night football game. They go to Buffalo, who is a top 5 football team playing at home. The Washington football team will go up there and lose 42-17.
God. That's terrible.
What planet do you live on? That they're giving up 42.
They're giving up 42. I think this is the game where we all get so humbled that we cancel this podcast only to restart it 2 days later because we realize we got nothing better to do on Tuesday nights. But because
NXT sucks.
What's that?
No. It's whenever we restart the podcast, Eddie will have a full-grown beard within like 3 days, and it'll have all kinds of cracker crumbs.
Jesus,
it was never Ritz. It was never Ritz.
Ritz, damn it.
I did eat Cheez-Its. You're right there. I like the pepper jack ones. They're delicious. The duos, fantastic.
I think next Sunday, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills find their true game. I don't think we found ours yet. I think we're playing in Buffalo. I see this game being a disaster of a game where I'm not going to say I believe in this. I don't think it's true, but you're going to start hearing chirps from our media that's like same old football team. Heine's not the answer. We lost the defense. Rivera is losing the team. None of it's going to be true. Because in my opinion, I think the next week we come back and destroy the Atlanta Falcons, but that's for another week.
Well,
I really just think
they better beat the Falcons.
I think this is a very humbling road game. This, I think I told you guys, was one of my like 4 or 5 just guaranteed losses going into the season in Buffalo. Like, I think we just get annihilated.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to get annihilated all season. Rarely do semi-decent versions of this team get annihilated. They always have heartbreaking, we're in it, guys, we're in it, losses.
Okay, I'll go with a bold prediction. We go up 7-0 on the first drive. 42-17 final score.
What happens? Is Kyle Allen playing in this game?
Well, Josh Allen's so good, he takes on Kyle Allen's name as well. He takes the soul of our backup quarterback.
I'm still of the belief that when the football team beats you, you should be stripped of your name.
Well, we should carry it with us. We should be the Washington Bills if we beat them for one more week.
It's like the college stickers. You just put them on your helmet. You just have like them sprinkled throughout, like.
It's like Thanos, am I right? Was that
a
Marvel reference?
Oh, there you go.
Look at me. I even know.
I want attention. I saw a meme on the internet.
Hey, kids under the age of 35, hogging the mic. I can relate.
All right.
So where's everybody watching the game at?
A road game on my couch. I'm at so many live football games that I just plop down here and watch things.
Is your neighbor going to be mad at you for screaming?
Well, no, because they won't be screaming. They'll be crying.
Okay.
Which
Loud
I do all
sobbing.
the time. 2 bad hips. Drink milk out of the carton.
Lactaid. Go ahead.
I'm
Max.
gonna be watching the game in the absolute worst possible way. Like I'm gonna be trying to watch it the first hour of it on my phone at work.
I was gonna say in a portage on like
I'm stuck at work
festival.
until well that I guess it could be worse, but I will be at work until 2:00 trying to watch it on my phone. But if it's busy, I have the game set to DVR and I'll just watch it when I get home and I'll just ignore my phone until I catch up.
Max is gonna be dodging the vid, trying to watch some football.
Just have all of your patients reenact the game if they can, breathe well enough.
Okay,
so here's what we're gonna do. Every time Kenny predicts us to lose this season, if we win, he has to watch a Marvel movie.
Oh God!
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Okay, fine. And then if the opposite happens and I predict them to lose and they lose, y'all have to watch a movie of my choice.
It has to be something you actually like.
It's like one of like 4 movies. I meant to tell you guys and the podcasters out there. What was the name of our fan base? The Hoggers, the Hoggies.
None of those.
The Hoggies out there. So I made a bet with a friend of mine who's a big old Buffalo Bills fan. So his wife is a Washington football team fan.
Jumps through a lot of tables.
If the team wins, he's got to send me pictures of him decked out in team gear. Most of it's going to be female gear.
That'll be hot.
If the Washington football team loses next week on Hoggin the Mic, I will be singing the Bills fight song for all of the Hoggies out there.
Oh,
Terrible.
Lord.
When he sends those pictures to you after the Bills lose, it's going to happen. I want you to post that on the Hoggin the Mic social media networks, just so he's doubly shamed.
Absolutely. So you hear that, Hoggies? Stay tuned.
We're not going to call them that.
So I thought of a fun little game we can play this season. So you know how we predict all these games? I'm going to keep up with our predictions. I'm going to keep up with our record. Whoever has the worst record at the end of the season, it's going to be like Impractical Jokers, and you're going to get a punishment from the other 2 hosts.
You have to hot wax your balls.
Oh, gross.
Not on live TV.
You got to show the strip after you jerk it and just be like, hold it.
Hey, we'll do a live podcast for all of our Hoggies. Listen, so by next podcast, we all should come up with our idea for what the loser would have to do. So we're not just making it up, because then the loser's gonna be like, well, I'm not doing that. So by next week, we should have our punishment decision.
Sure, I watch enough Impractical Jokers. I can think of something painful for both of you. Or painfully awkward.
We should do what that one fantasy league did that went viral on ESPN. We got to decide on the tattoo that the loser gets.
You're getting Jaden Smith tattooed on your right pectoral. And we'll leave Max frozen here. And while he's frozen, I've got an important question. I've been waiting for this. I need some input from you guys. Frozen Max and Kenny.
Max is dead.
Well, you know,
I'm here.
I love when he's the real Kenny here. He dies a lot, so I got to know. Should I start?
Hold on. I got timeout. Max, you said you're keeping tabs. What's the current score?
Well, we all predicted Washington to beat the Giants last week, so it's 1-0 all of us because we didn't have a week 1 podcast.
Oh right, I guess we didn't. All right, so we're all 1-0.
Yeah, so duh, Kenny. So I need to know.
Hopefully Eddie will be 2-0 next week. I'll be fine. I'll be fine sitting at 1-1 with Eddie 2-0.
Should I start Jacobs from the Raiders, or should I start Harris, running back for New England?
Doesn't sound like a good option either way.
I was gonna say let's.
I mean, Jacobs is. They're saying Jacobs 13.6, but they're saying Harris 12.4. Both produced for me last week, Jacobs was out last week, so I started Harris. Did pretty good. And I need to know McLaurin. Do I start McLaurin?
Yes.
Or do I start Allen for the Chargers?
I tuned you out after you said, should I start McLaurin?
Max, McLaurin or Allen from the Chargers?
McLaurin.
They're saying McLaurin 13. They're giving Allen 14.3. They're playing Kansas City.
Well, they don't know what they're talking about.
All right. I just needed some input. I'm going to ignore all of it. Kenny, looking
Pull
forward
out
to you
to
watching.
The Hoggies on Twitter.
No. No. We don't need those penis jokes. It's as bad as the Red Dogs. Jesus. Any parting short sentences, no run-ons here before we hang this up?
My final thoughts?
One sentence.
One sentence?
Yes.
I don't know why you're already laughing. To all of my Hoggies out there, cheers. To the best of luck.
That
was 2 sentences. Max, one sentence. See if you can you teach kids. You should follow directions.
I was just getting ready to say he's like the worst teacher ever. He was just stringing together. He was like putting dashes and hyphens in his head.
Yeah, Captain Semicolon over there.
Yeah, a lot of semicolons.
Anyway, Max, give me one sentence. I know you can do this.
Hail to the Redskins.
Hail victory.
Wait, the football team.
Either way, it always works. the nameless ones. Anyway, look at this. We've made our way to the end of another episode, 2 in a row. That's crazy. I'm your host, Eddie Jenkins. For your other host, Kenneth J. Powter III, and Maximus Bacon I, saying, remember, get used to being uncomfortable. It's part of the journey toward greatness. See ya.
Hoggies.
No.